What's up, Thuggies? Welcome back. It's that time of the month again, and we got another GCC drop. Check it out. Overall, Thuggies, I gotta say that this was a very solid drop. The first figures we'll be taking a look at is the 87th clone and 181st clone. These two clones right here are pretty much just recolors of each other, but they both look really nice. And I'm glad that we finally got them after all this time of their helmets being released on the website. Something I kinda like about their helmets is that they're basically just 501st recolors, and their torsos and legs are pretty nice and simple, and they fit in great with the rest of your GCC clones. Now here is our first look at the long-awaited GCC Kicks. I'm very happy GCC finally made a Kicks minifigure, as he's one of my favorite clone troopers. Something you might notice off the bat about this figure is that he has arm printing. It's really nice to see that GCC is finally doing arm printing more consistently, as previously it used to just be for their premium figures. But I gotta say, they've really been knocking it out of the park with these arm prints. The legs are pretty nice and simple, but something I did notice is that GCC is straying away from the smaller shoe printing. I'm not sure if anyone else noticed this, but on old GCC clones, all the shoes were really small, but these look way more like Legos, so it's good to see them improving. And overall, the GCC Kicks is a nice addition to the collection. I personally like to deck mine out with this Clone Army Customs backpack, and with this minifigure I can finally complete the Umbara squad, and it's always nice to grow the 501st Army. And also, did I mention that it's on an official helmet? Always nice to see. Here's a look at the Imperial Cody. This minifigure is an amazing step for GCC, as their first figure to use an official helmet hole helmet. So that way you could have a visor on the figure. With the recent addition of the blank helmet hole helmets in the market, it's really awesome to see people use them and print on them to make these amazing customs. I really hope in the future we could see a Commander Bly. Comparing this figure side by side with the official LEGO Commander Cody, it's just amazing to see how far customs could come and see what they're capable of. And the printing on the helmet is just so high quality. In some aspects I almost feel like it's better than LEGO. Even though in-universe Imperial Cody is just basically Commander Cody but worse, I gotta hand it to GCC. They really knocked this one out of the park. Here is the 5th Fleet Security Trooper. He's pretty much exactly the same as the last one. The only difference is the legs are actually more accurate now, and I'm pretty sure the coloring on the blue is slightly lighter. There's nothing really much to say about him, but it's always nice to see GCC improve their figures. Now before we get into the non-clone minifigures, they actually did restock their Fox. The only difference this time is that they didn't give him the Clone Army Customs visor. But it's really nice to see that they're still using the official helmet. Something else I noticed is that the red on the cloth actually shows up a lot better than it did on the V1. And the prints just look way finer than they did before. For those who actually bought the Fox the first time, you might know that a lot of them had loose arms. I bought both the Commander Fox and their new replacement bodies, and none of them have loose arms. It's really nice to see. And yes, they actually did release a replacement body, so that way if you have the new gunship and you're not happy with the body but you like the helmet, you could go ahead and use that. And at the very least, you have these really awesome arms. This is Jango Fett from the Camino apartment. They finally restocked this figure. Originally he was released alongside the Boba Fett figure, but it's really awesome that they actually restocked them, and I'm pretty sure the Boba Fett should be restocking by the end of the year, so I would not recommend going out of your way to buy one at the aftermarket, as they're normally pretty expensive. I'm pretty sure this guy's exactly the same as he was back whenever he came out the first time, but it's still really nice to get him again. Here's a look at GCC's Mon Mothma. I'm pretty sure this figure's based off the Skywalker saga, but I gotta say, it looks really nice. When I first saw pictures of the face, I thought it looked a little weird, but now that I have it in hand, I guess it's fine. Speaking of the face, she actually does have a double-sided face, which is really nice to see. And the arm prints are flawless. But I really think the true highlight of this figure is the skirt. The printing continues flawlessly from the torso to the skirt piece, and they actually did a 360 pad print all the way around. This looks amazing. And while we're on the topic of skirt pieces, they actually did make another figure with a skirt piece. This is Asajj Ventress from the Clone Wars show. This minifigure also looks amazing, especially compared to the OG one. We haven't got a Ventress minifigure in a really long time, so it's really nice that we finally got a new one. I think my favorite part is the head, just because it's not in the Clone Wars style and it's finally a more modern look for Ventress. The torso and skirt piece look amazing, and I really like how in all of GCC's skirt pieces, they continue flawlessly from the torso down to the skirt. And GCC even put this awesome back printing. Now the last thing we're going to be taking a look at in this drop is the new 332nd helmet. When I first saw pictures of it, I thought it looked a little weird just because it didn't really look like Legos, but that's because it's actually better than Legos. As much praise as the original one got just because it didn't have the helmet holes, I gotta say that GCC's prints are just more higher quality. I mean, just look at these two side by side. GCC's color shows up better, and it goes all the way over the fin. Now obviously there's nothing wrong with the LEGO one, they did the best that they could, however I just prefer the GCC one now that I have it in hand. It's really amazing that you have this to release alongside the new battle pack, so that way you can replace all your whole helmets with these new awesome GCC helmets. Now overall Thuggies, this was a pretty solid drop, and I really can't wait to see what GCC does next. Thanks for watching, and subscribe.